6 red lights. It's 20 minutes worth of action here with IR Esports, and we are underway then for racing action. Great second phase of acceleration from third position on the grid there. That was wonderfully worked by Tata. Prithvi in control as they take the dive in towards turn number 1, but immediately position lost then as they go on through. Easily done, but they'll fight all the way through 2, and there's contact, and immediately around they're going to have to scatter all the way around there. Sabler now into second position as they now find a way through just like that. Prithvi with control, and that's what happens when those rear wheels do tangle. It won't.
As they enter the end of the straight, there's already another collision happening right behind Sai Prithvi.
And then Navneet Kumar goes around and finds himself in the grass on the inside. A little bit of contact. Vikas Runta from 11th position on the grid is now already up into P3 after all of that drama. Off difficult racing then to start. A little bit of a mistake from him though. This is going to allow Sabler immediately through, past him as if he wasn't there. Going. Ragav then did well over the start. Look at that, all the way to the pit wall trying to defend. Can really punch a hole through the air if you are the driver behind. You're really going to take an advantage with such a tall car as Sabler can't quite get the tuk-tuk through, but gets a great run on the inside. He'll be on the wrong side towards turn number 3. But really, it's all about that slipstream because you've got such a big, tall car, which leaves a massive, massive gap in the air. Look at the up and under. That's wonderfully done. Position right now and is absolutely flying on the brakes. Is going to lose the place, at least initially there to OJ95, but you go straight back up and under. It's coming into play, takes that big wide line defending this one up the hill into turn 3, the widest part of the circuit, but it's gone a little bit deep there as it does plateau off, and suddenly that's 2 for the price of 1. And here's going to come the move then. To the outside goes Katadia, looking to pick up 3rd place. They cross the stripe and now look to try and make that progress forward. And Katadia then on the outside is going to have to be committed through the corner, and he gets it nicely done.
Maximum traction out of that corner as we round off another lap. Looks like a little bit of oversteer and another contact as we enter the corner between Vikas and Navneet Kumar.
Another lap in. Sai Prithvi will come to the line. Checkered flag comes out. He takes the victory here in this special event here that we've got with IR Esports. Munjal Sabler will take a very resilient second position, has to be said, and a little bit of a wait for Oshan Kathadia, who had to really recover after that spin early on in lap 1 to bring himself back into play then. Position number 3 to round out the podium. And Sided, that one was pretty plain sailing at the front. Behind those, still going on.
Okay, so roughly a week ago, we'd actually planned to do an exhibition race. For those of you who are following our social media platforms and YouTube, you would be knowing that we had planned to do a truck race here at the Budd International Circuit. Unfortunately, we couldn't stream that last time round, and we actually recorded that race. So right now, we will be streaming our pre-recorded race with some live play-by-play commentary. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the action. For the race, we have Firoz and Gaurav who were taking care of race direction. They went through all the camera angles and brought all this action live to us, or rather pre-recorded back then. My name is Saidit Ramesh. I'll be your commentator here today, and I actually had a chance of driving as well in this race. So this is going to be an interesting take on kind of just going through what exactly happened in that race. But as the order stands right now, we just jumped right into qualifying. Now, last time, remember, if you all tuned in about a few months ago, we did an auto rickshaw race here at the Budd International Circuit. That was super duper exciting, quite unconventional, but at the same time, it proved to be super fun in terms of racing action. So this time we decided to get on back to the Budd International Circuit, this high-speed circuit, with something that's significantly heavier than those auto rickshaws, than those three-wheelers. Yes, we are back to four wheels, but this time we were racing the trucks, basically the cab portion of a truck. Now this truck model is actually roughly based off a typical Volvo model, and then it's been modded by one of the drivers from IERC, Divyang Dodia, who managed to make it look a bit like a Tata Prima. So this is our little twist, our little take on truck racing here at the Budd International Circuit. Right now we are running on board with Oshan Kataria as he just fights the yaw of this truck. This truck's of course weighing roughly 5 tons. It's just 5 tons of metal, chrome, heavy machinery, heavy engines and rubber all combined to form this beast. As we see a beautiful beast, a beautiful camera angle of this beast. It's just a blue variant of the truck being driven by Sai Prithvi here. He's already put on a lap time of about 1 minute, but it seems to be just his out lap. He's going through this sector 2 essentially of the track as we just follow on board and see as he wrestles that truck through this very technical part of the circuit. Now Budd itself has 3 different sectors. The first sector being slightly slow, a little bit technical, but then just getting back on power onto that main straight, which kind of wraps up the first sector. The second sector being extremely technical, tight weaving sections. You see a lot of action, a lot of side by side racing, a lot of people going wide in the sector, especially with these heavy trucks. And then this final sector, which is a little bit more flowing, but at the same time you need to be very heavy on the brakes because there are some heavy uphill braking zones. And just all the drivers now just slowly getting back on track. It's been a while since we've gotten on track with the stream, and this is just super exciting for us to be bringing this action here from the Budd International Circuit. As the order stands right now, however, Oshan is leading, but just by 4 thousandths. Look at that, just 4 thousandths of a second separate Oshan Kotadia and Sai Prithvi being the top 2 drivers here at this circuit right now. Munjal about roughly 2.5 seconds behind right now in 3rd place, but he's got some fierce competition from Kunal, who is firmly placed in 4th position with a good 1.2 seconds gap to 5th place Abhimanyu. And this is what the order looks like right now. 4 minutes, roughly 4 minutes of qualifying left. We are right now on board with Danny Thomas, is going down the back straight, one of the longest sectors, one of the longest straights in the Formula 1 calendar. When it used to be on the Formula 1 calendar, about 1 kilometer. You just see how he's locked that tire, and the reason for that is a lot of the truck's weight is actually on the front tires. So there is a lot of work for those tires to do, and if you don't get your braking right, if you use some of that grip, so to speak, in the tires to turn while you brake, you're instantly going to lock up. It doesn't seem to be the case here for Kunal Mahatre, who's managed to just slide it the other way around, so he's not getting understeer over there. He managed to get some oversteer through that corner, might have just clipped that curb a little bit, just gotten a little extra traction, a little excessive traction for that matter through the rear wheels. You can just see the sheer size of these wheels, so you can just only imagine the amount of torque coming out of those wheels as the engine just powers them on. Given to understand this is 4-wheel drive naturally, so these cars are just kind of sliding their way through It's very tricky to actually handle these trucks, and once you get the hang of it though, it's super fun. You see all these drivers just kind of having a lot of fun with something that you wouldn't typically see on a racing circuit, but something about it just clicks, something about it just makes it work. And you will see a lot more of this action when we get into the race session, with just 3 minutes of qualifying left right now. Siddharth Snail crossing the line. That looks to be his out lap, because it's 3 minutes 40 seconds. He's 1 minute, over 1.5 minutes off pace. So he obviously just started his flying lap right now, going through that first corner. Very tricky braking zone again. It's one of the fastest, one of the heaviest braking zones in the circuit. So you got to be super careful over there. He's just creeping up the hill right now, going through corner number 3, getting a little bit of oversteer. But that's all right over here, because the gravel trap, there's a gravel trap on the outside, on the left side. If you understeer, you're just going to get your truck stuck over there. No one wants to see a truck for about 4,500 kilograms of metal just sinking into the gravel. We want to see them racing, as you see on board right now. That's me on the camera right now, just struggling to get my way through that tricky double right-hander, essentially. Just trying to get a lap out there. But yeah, lots of fun driving these trucks around. Something else for you to know is, typically, a lot of the drivers here on the grid are using steering wheels. Some of them are using controllers, but a lot of them are using steering wheels. Popular choices is the G29, there's also the T150, and many more. The point is, these steering wheels are actually calibrated to have roughly about 900 degrees of steering, 450 degrees on either side, but you rarely use that much of steering unless you're doing something like drifting, or you're running much slower vehicles. You only use something around about 600 to 700 degrees of steering. But for these trucks, it's been calibrated in such a way that you need to do the full rotation of the steering wheel to get the best performance out of the steering rack inbuilt in these truck models. As you can see, Oshan, he's just kind of sliding his way through there. If you see this onboard, you can just see how much of steering input he's having to give. Let's see if he can get a little bit of insight into how he takes this first turn. He's just flying down the main straight. You want to brake just before that 150 meter mark. Brake straight. You don't want to lock that wheel. And then you can already see how much he's just turning that steering input over there. And once again, just switching it back instantly. And then fighting it, just fighting the vehicle. There's just so many physical elements, so many forces acting on these cars. Or rather, these vehicles. It's not like your typical race car. You're not gonna just get some raw downforce and keep it planted and have a vehicle that's on rails for each corner. These are very different vehicles. You've got to be ultra careful as you fly through these corners. Oshan now gotten a good exit on the back straight, just flying down, chilling for a while as he again brakes around the 200 meter mark, again easing off, just trail braking. This trail braking city over here. You have to be very careful as you release some of that brake pressure off the brake discs. Munjal coming over. It's about to start a lap. Looks like he hasn't started another lap yet. Looks like it's out lap as the timer ticks off. We have officially ended qualifying. The timer has just reached 0 right now. We are in overtime. But as the order stands right now on the left side, you can see Sai Prithvi a clear 2/10 faster than second place Oshan Katadia, who coincidentally is about 2 seconds faster than Munjal Savla. Munjal Savla, we're riding on board with him. Let's see if he can improve his time. He's gonna have to find some serious some hidden secret somewhere in the circuit if he's already doing his best, because he's got to make up 2 seconds right now. He's very capable of doing that, as you see him now flying down the back straight. He's perhaps going to gain a lot of that time through that technical second sector. A lot of these drivers very proficient in other driving sims and a lot of other racecraft. So this is just a very different experience for a lot of people on the grid right now. Munjal taking a very careful line there, still clipping a bit of that curve, getting some unnecessary oversteer. It looks like it might have helped him a bit. As you can see here, he's already 2/10, almost 1.5 tenths up on his best lap. So that is a small start. He's just kind of clawing away on the times, and then we see Oshan just pulling away another lap time. He got 4/10 faster on Sai Prithvi, and he's essentially on pole position now. Sai Prithvi has finished his qualifying run, so he's gonna have to settle for second at the moment, because there's only one person right now on track, looks like, who can upset that time, and that is Munjal, fighting his way through this tricky, almost double, essentially triple apex section over here. Getting a good exit over here. Let's see if he can pick up that pace. No, he has already lost about 1.4 seconds on his best lap. Given that he was already a 1.5 tenths up, he's lost roughly 1.6 seconds right now. So he's gonna have to make up that time somewhere in this last corner. He's only got one roughly 2 corners left. Takes the conservative line. Whoever that is on track has gone off the way. Just gotten out of the way smartly. Probably just aborting their own run in the process. But Munjal has right now got to make up some serious time over here. He's already reached 2 minutes 8 seconds as he rounds off that final corner. He's got 3, 2 seconds, 1 second. Is he going to make it on pole? No, he does not. Looks like he won't improve on his best time either. So Munjal Savla is going to be starting. Oh, it looks like he's going to be starting 4th. He's got sniped in another position there by Siddharth Snell. Okay, so this is what the order looks like. Oshan and Sai Prithvi leading the pack over there. Got 4 tenths between them. Siddharth Snell coming in about 7 tenths, 1.7 seconds slower than Sai Prithvi. Munjal Savla about 6 tenths off Siddharth's pace. And then there's a little bit of a gap. There's half a second to 5th place driver Kunal Mahate. Then there's player over there, I believe. Player over here is Amit Kuti, another IERC driver over there, 3 tenths of 5th place. Abhimanyu Menon, Divyang Dodia, the creator of this mod, also firmly planted in the top 10 position. Steve George over there, I've come in slotting in with a 2 minute 20 seconds. So with right behind with a 2 minute 21. Then Danny Thomas, Lightning, and that is our grid. We have 13 drivers here on the grid today. So let us gear up and prepare ourselves for what was actually a very exciting race. We're super excited to stream this now for you. Meanwhile, those who are in the chat right now, any guesses on who's going to win this race, please do comment, and let's see how many people actually get it right. Okay, so it looks like a set of Corsa, which coincidentally is the sim we're using today, is just shuffling up the grid once again, just setting it up for the race start. And here we go, we're all set for the race start. We've got 5 lights on board, all the lights go off, we're under green flag conditions, and already you can see that yellow truck, I believe that is the 3rd place driver over there, just jumping everybody, getting ahead over here. Sai Prithvi losing a position, Oshan losing 2 positions. Then we got a lot of carnage over there at the back. In all of this, Siddharth has managed to get a few more positions. Trucks going everywhere, he just got littered. Just a bunch of trucks just littered all over the first corner, but they're all kind of found their way back now, all scattered about, but now they're all back on track. Clean racing going through over here, we hope. There is some collision between these red trucks over here. I believe I'm somewhere in that midst. Then we've got the yellow trucks over there at the back, kind of finishing off the pack. So it looks like already Team Blue is kind of winning over here, if we can say so. Sai Prithvi managing to get back that lead over there, but Siddharth Snell just powering on in that yellow truck. We saw him get a really good start over there, all the way from 3rd position. They're going side by side, there's some contact. Sai Prithvi seems to have lost a bit of the front end over there, but he seems to have managed to get that back. And now Siddharth's got sandwiched, he's got pushed out wide. Oshan Kataria has taken 1st place. Siddharth now just slotting in right behind Oshan. Let's see if anything happens over here into the 2nd sector. This is where everyone needs to be really careful. If you try to go side by side, you're going to go wide. Oshan goes wide over there. Now Siddharth gains back that position. Sai Prithvi defending furiously, and then Siddharth goes wide. Another red truck over there is Munjal also going wide. Munjal then inherits that 2nd place spot. And now it's going to be a tight fight. Munjal, there's Amit Kuti also managing to get up there in the 2nd place. So that is the other blue truck over there of Amit Kuti, just half a second behind. Munjal now defending furiously from Siddharth Snell, who's sliding all over the place over there, having to defend from Oshan, who's had a dreadful start right now. He's going to have to claw his way back. You've got a bunch of cars over here. The top 6 all clean and just kind of tightly packed. And then you've got a bit of a gap to Lightning, Divyang, Steve, and Danny over there. Ooh, a lot of tight racing once again in that final sector. You want to be really careful with this braking zone. If you go too wide, you do have a bit of runoff area, but you're just keeping that window, that overtaking window, clean open for drivers behind. Oshan again pulling away, a good maneuver over there. Is he going to dive bomb into this corner? It seems like the only chance he has right now to get across these drivers on this lap. He manages to do it. We don't know if there's some collision over there. Kunal rounding off cleanly, and it looks like Oshan has managed to get ahead of Munjal Savla. Munjal now having to fight back. He's getting a little bit of a side draft. That's what you call a side draft essentially in NASCAR, where you induce a little bit of drag on your opponent. Munjal managed to do that. He has the outside line. Oshan, however, has the better line into this corner. Once again, now retaking third place. This is going to be a tight battle between Munjal and Oshan for most of this race. Looks like Siddharth once again trying to make a move. He has the inside line. If you're stuck on the outside over here, you're going to have some problems. Munjal takes it smoothly. Siddharth clips that curve again. You don't want to do that. Now he's going to have to defend once again as Kunal has started fighting back. Kunal's gotten a good slipstream now. And yeah, this is where the slipstream really matters. They always talk about slipstream. At least I always talk about this drag reduction in any race because it's just so overpowered. You see this essential huge truck just plowing through the air, creating a little bit of a vacuum for trucks behind to get through. And trust me, having driven this, I can tell you for sure that the slipstream does help. All these drivers now pulling away. There's a bit of a gap now to those back markers over there who are all fighting away for those bottom roughly 6 to 7 positions. See, with a little bit of a gap. It's not much, but this starts to build now as you see as the race goes on. Munjal now hot on the heels of Siddharth up ahead. He's really going to have to claw his way back. He has lost a position. Let's see if he can do it this time by all of them rounding off that section quite smoothly. Get ready for this double right-hander. This is where you can gain all your time or potentially lose it if you catch a bit of oversteer. Looks like everyone's firmly planted. Looks like those tire temperatures have picked up. This is exactly where you want to be. Optimal conditions right now to push, get maximum performance out of these trucks. Just plowing through right now. Let's see, the fastest that these trucks can reach, the highest speed is apparently 240 kilometers per hour. Let's see if any of these drivers can break that speed barrier with the so-called drag reduction that we're going to be getting down that main straight, rather the back straight. We can call it the back straight because of how long it is and not essentially on the start-finish line. Divyang going wide. Mod creator himself struggling. You can just see how tricky these trucks are, but he's managed to pull that off really well. He's now holding onto that truck and fighting back. There is contact. He collides. Someone collides. That looks like players. My bad. That looks like Divyang. He had a collision there with Danny. Looks like who had run wide over there in that yellow truck. He's lost a few positions in that process. And now we again have that wasn't Danny. My bad. That was Steve George over there who lost that position. Danny managing to hold on. So let me get this straight. Danny is the red truck over here. So that's one less truck to get confused by. Let's see how the rest of this goes. By the way, if you see closely, there are a lot of cool little decals and livery stickers all over the truck, just showing the cool style that these trucks have running through this track. Speaking of running over, one truck nearly getting collided into. He's facing the wrong way. I think the circuit goes the other way. It's counterclockwise. Divyang, yes, come on, get that back on. Seems like he's again spun off. Let's see if he can make a comeback. However, he's got some clear track ahead. He's just got he's got me up ahead over there, batting it out with Shobit. Let's see if Divyang can fight his way back. He knows this truck better than anyone else. He's worked on this. He's gonna be able to fight back. Let's see if he can. Let's see. It seems inevitable. Let's see how long it takes for him to do it. There's me over there once again, just clipping the curb. I'm trying to catch up with Shobit up ahead. We've had a nice little battle throughout this race. Shobit furiously defending. He's driven really well throughout this race, just defending through every single part of this tight sector, this tight parts of the track. Abhimanyu now on board, just trying to find his way. Is he going to be able to catch up with Danny? He's not too far ahead. Danny gets a bit of a moment, clips that final exit curve. You don't want to hit that. We've seen this happen in the Indian GP in the past. I remember vividly the first Indian GP, Felipe Massa breaking his suspension on those high sausage curves over there, both in free practice and in the race as well. So it's just a very bad place for you to clip that curve. Of course, these trucks have a lot more suspension movement, but it needs all that suspension movement to basically balance out the weight. You don't want to give away any of that movement and unnecessarily adding impulses. Speaking of being impulsive, looks like Sai Prithvi has finally managed to get that truck back into contention, and he's now picking up the pace, trying to hunt down Amit, who's just under a second ahead. Let's see if he can do that. One truck has essentially just parked over there. Who is that? Steve George. Steve George is parked. Has he lost the drive in the truck? Could that be a broken axle? Who knows? This is again the tail end of the grid. A lot of battles now going to be starting off here with just about 12 minutes of the race left, but very nearly at the 50% mark. But I think the drivers up ahead are unfazed by that. They're just completely locked into contention. Oshan over there impressively just holding on over there as well. He had the pole position and he's now fighting his way back. Siddharth Snail 6 seconds off the leader space. It's 3 seconds behind, but Munjal another 3 seconds back. What has happened to Munjal in this process? He's gonna have to claw his way back once again. Looks like Sai Prithvi has lost out a bit on that straight. I don't know if he's lost the slipstream or he just outbraked himself into that section, but into that heavy braking zone. Either way, Amit has managed to start pulling that gap away again. He's now going through this technical section. Looks like Amit's strongest portion of the track is that technical section. Let's see if Sai can keep it on the road once again, just clipping it right. These guys are seasoned drivers. They know how to clip it exactly at the right moment. Just going over that rumble strip. But no, Sai Prithvi's gone wide. And then who's there in the back? Oshan also spun. Oshan went wide. He's clean into the wall. I think the damage model is off over here, so it shouldn't be a problem. Or rather, the damage is a little limited. And then you can just see in a typical fashion, just struggling to get into gear and then rocking about in those lower gears, high torque output over there. It's a good thing he didn't get that engine bogging too much. He's got back on pace, but he's now 15 seconds behind pole position, first place, which is essentially where he started. So now he's going to have to really claw his way back. There's just 11 minutes left. Roughly looking at the lap time that these drivers are doing, it could be about roughly 4 to 5 laps. So Oshan is going to have to chop off about 3 seconds per lap if he wants to get back up there in the front. Right now, he can only hope that the drivers up front have issues themselves, because Sai Prithvi and Amit Kuti, for that matter, is pulling away and just leading this race right now. Munjal has an opportunity for third place right now, but he's going to have to chop off about 3.5 seconds to Siddharth Snail up ahead. Siddharth's put in a lap time of 2 minutes. What's that? 2 minutes 16.5. It's like Munjal just a little slower than that. Then Kunal and Oshan putting lap times slower. Oshan, of course, having an unfortunate incident through sector 2. Divyang now rounding off that turn. He's in 12th place now. He's again slowly picking up the pace. He's inherited that place because Steve George had some problems, and it looks like Steve is now a lap down. Is he in the pits? I reckon he's in the pits because he could have lost a lap instantly. Now this is where things start getting a little feisty with these battles. I have been battling Shobit for a while now in this race. It's been going back and forth, and it's starting to get really intense. Now with just 50% of the race left, we're trying to battle it off for essentially that final points finish, as you could technically say points finish according to F1 standards at least. Let's see what happens over here. I go wide, I go too deep into the corner over there, misjudge my re-entry, and then we basically glitch through essentially over there. I don't think we got any damage, but that was just really confusing when we just glitched through. So there are a few issues with the netcode potentially over here, but all's good right now because everyone seems to still be running. Sans Steve George, who's probably still in the pits fixing up his truck. Oshan now starting to fight back. First person on his target, the first target on his list is Kunal, right up ahead, just 5 tenths ahead of him right now. Both being blue trucks, so it's going to be really confusing if there's an overtake off camera. Let's see. This is excellent on board to see. It's just so cool to see the cockpit view over here because this just shows how much of steering input you need to give. See how much Oshan is having to just kind of let the truck do its thing and then fight it whenever it gets out of hand. See that is just changing the direction. It's not firmly planted, you just got to slide this thing all over the place, and that adds to about 60-70% of the fun. The rest of the 30%, of course, making sure you get that lap time on board. Oshan having a big moment, again losing out. I highly doubt that's got anything to do with turbulent air over here. That's most likely got to do with the rear tires overheating. Oshan clipping that curve, getting on the AstroTurf. That's what you want to do. You want to maximize your exit, get as much speed as you can out of that corner. Let's see if he makes a move. He goes for a wide entry, wide late apex, but then that gives him a better exit through this corner. The car ahead, Kunal went for an early apex, which means that he has a compromised exit, as it looks like over here. He's going to have to just kind of defend into the turn. He's got to manages to take that cleanly. Oshan still struggling to find a way past. Let's see if he can do it on that back straight. Meanwhile, speaking of the back straight, Sai Prithvi is now dropped down another 1 second. He's dropped 1 second from Amit Kuti. This is starting to get a little bit concerning for Sai Prithvi. He's losing out a lot of time. Not quite sure where it is, but it looks most likely to be in that second sector where there's just a lot of little bumps that you need to watch out for. Steve George now back on circuits. Good to see he's back on track, sliding his way through that. That's the angle you want to see. That's the sort of driving you want to see. Just having as much of a yaw moment as you can. Super entertaining to watch, and trust me, at times it's actually faster than just going properly with full grip. Again, intense battles over here. Shobit now coming under pressure from Danny, looks like, and then Divyang is right behind because he's also starting to claw his way back. Shobit now losing out in that process. I have kind of gained some time, the red truck over there. I've just pulled away a bit. It's just about 1 second, but I start building this gap. Looks like you can see just from the way these trucks are going, if you're not within about half a second, you're going to start losing out of that slipstream. Just shows how turbulent the air would be on the back of the truck. Shobit spinning out, he's going wide, again collecting Danny a little bit, just kind of crashing into Oshan's front bumper over there. All's good though, I think everybody's got through more or less smoothly. And okay, I'm sorry about that once again. Looks like Shobit and Danny had that moment. Divyang managed to find his way through, gets through over there, just manages to get through the sector. Now he's got the next person on his radar. Let's be up ahead. Oshan has managed to get past Kunal, which is good over here. Now he's going to have to start chopping down about 5 seconds. That's a lot of time, especially in racing terms. With just 6 minutes on the clock, he's gonna want to chop off a second every minute of the racing clock, which means he's gonna want to chop off about 2 seconds for every lap that he goes around this track. Now, is he gonna be able to do that with Munjal having a good clean grasp of fourth position right now? Clean air up ahead and behind, as you can see from that camera angle. Kunal now dropping back. Kunal is slowly losing time, but it doesn't look like he's going to be caught by Abhimanyu, because Abhimanyu is 26 or 27 seconds behind. That's a huge gap. Unless all these trucks just stop on the road, there's no way you're going to be making up that much time with just 5 minutes of the race left. But looking at how much action has been going on, as you see more action at the back, it looks like anything can happen. Danny is really struggling with that truck. It's just fishtailing out of every corner. Shobit, on the other hand, has managed to find his element and is now just using all of that astroturf that he can to just maximize his exits, to maximize his lap times. Right now, I'm under pressure from Divyang, who's right there behind me. This is a sector which is not quite strong for me particularly. It's just about getting that braking zone right. It's just very difficult to judge. And it looks like Divyang has managed to do that perfectly. There is an overtaking move now. Sai has made an overtaking move on Amit. Sai has gotten that rebound. He's gotten pushed out wide. Amit also found his way back on track, and now it's again a tight battle between these two fast drivers up here in front. But you cannot discount Siddharth, who's right there. You can see him in the background. Can Siddharth snatch anything from the misfortune of these two drivers if they're to collide right now? A lot of feisty driving going on right now. Everyone knows there's just 25% of the race left. This is where you're gonna want to make a move and make it stick. Sai Prithvi not finding a way to make it stick, but it looks like his tires are firmly stuck on the ground, better than Amit up ahead. Amit again having a bit of a fishtail over there. Fishtail essentially is when you have a little bit of oversteer coming out of a corner and you're going to have to just, wrestle with that steering and just get off throttle to kind of get your truck on that racing line. That's what Amit's been struggling to do for past few corners over here. Sai Prithvi getting a conservative line over here, and he's now got that slipstream. It looks like he's gotten a good exit out of this corner. He seems a bit too far back right now to be making any sort of hasty decisions or any sort of aggressive moves into this braking zone. He's going to want to line it up for that back straight. That's where he can gain a lot of time if you get your exit right. A little difficult to judge from this camera angle, but it still shows you how fast these trucks are actually going. Believe it or not, it actually can reach 240 kilometers per hour. If only I could try to get a reference, it could be a way to actually see whether the drivers are going faster than that. But judging by the pace of these two up ahead, looks like they're probably breaking that speed barrier. Sai Prithvi getting a good slipstream. Looks like you can just see him. He's just about a truck's length behind him. Make that half a truck length, and now he makes that move. He pulls out from that slipstream. Is he going to make a move down the inside over here? No, it looks like he's gotten back into the slipstream. Does he have something else up in his mind? Does he have something else hidden up his sleeve? Is he trying to perhaps pressurize Amit to make a mistake into this sector, a sector that he's been very strong in all throughout the race. No, it looks like Amit has struggled with that exit, and Sai Prithvi has taken the lead of this race. He's just gonna have to just thread his way through these corners. Looks like I mean, looking at the race clock, there's only 1 minute, one lap of racing left on the clock this time by when they cross the line. Both drivers, Sai getting two of the inner wheels onto that sausage curb, but then Amit not having a very pleasant ride through that sector either. He's managed to go wide, and this is again given a bit of breathing space for Sai Prithvi. Now Amit is starting to fight his way back. Sai is under pressure at this point. He's gonna have to be very careful over here. Amit has gotten a better exit, looks like, through that corner. Sai's gone wide. Now going uphill over here, he's just got to be very careful. He's just got one more lap. He's got to fend him off for one more lap. Let's see if he can do it cleanly. Smoothly done, very nicely done. Maybe not going as wide as you'd like. Looks like the car behind Siddharth Snell's gone a little wider. That's given him a little bit, a slight boost in speed down this downhill section into the final turn. As Sai Prithvi now crosses the line, he's essentially crossing the line to start the final official lap of the race. Looks like he's just pushing his way through right now. He's built up quite a significant gap now to Amit Kuti. It's now up to 7/10 of a second. Munjal has started pushing through, and he has now come under the clutches of Oshan Kotadia, who's managed to claw his way back. He's fought his way back. Oshan takes the inside line, but then Munjal has a better exit. Someone has spun over that. That looks like Amit Kuti has spun. So Amit Kuti has dropped out of podium contention, and he's essentially out of those competitive spots of the race. He's lost another position to Kunal, and he's now in 6th place. I don't think Abhimanyu is going to catch him. Abhimanyu is a good one whole sector behind at this point. Oshan and Munjal just weaving all about. They're trying to defend positions. Oshan trying to furiously defend. Munjal trying to get that slipstream. This is going to end in either tears and an exciting finish. Let's see what happens into this corner. Munjal takes the outside line. He's hoping for Oshan to outbrake himself on the inside, just lose some grip. So Munjal has also braked quite late. Then he gets a good exit over here. As predicted, Oshan goes wide. He's gone. Now he's again got the inside. Sorry about that, my screen just froze for a second. Looks like the stream froze for me on my end. What do we have here in the back? Now Amit Kuti just battling it out, trying to find anything he can, take away anything he can from this race. He lost out big time in that sprint, but he seems to have gotten back to 5th place. But that's about as far as he can go, because Munjal is far away, far up ahead on the road. Sai Prithvi has essentially finished the race, looks like. He's way ahead. He's got miles ahead of the rest of the competition. And now that we're in overtime, now that he's crossed the line, it looks like Sai Prithvi has crossed the line to take away 1st place in this race. Siddharth Snell rounds off to take 2nd place. Oshan managing to defend furiously and hold on to 3rd place. Munjal just missing out on the podium spot, but that's an excellent drive from Munjal to fight back into that podium position. All the drivers now enjoying themselves with a few donuts to finish off this really exciting exhibition race. Honestly, this is a lot of fun to drive. Trust me, if any of you have a Sito course and you can get your hands on any sort of a truck mod, just take it onto the Booth International Circuit. It's a lot of fun. A little glitchy you can see here in certain places, but all in all makes for very good, interesting racing. And then you see, only the top 6 have finished, 7th place and below, including myself. We're all still struggling to reach that pace. We're miles behind the competition. That was 49 seconds, but it looks like Abhimanyu's crossed the line. 3 seconds later, Divyang crosses the line. And 5 seconds after Divyang, I managed to cross the line to take away 9th place, with Shobit rounding off the top 10. So this has been an extremely exciting race. But right now in the commentary box, we have the creator of this mod, Divyang Dodia. Firstly, Divyang, thanks for joining us. How did you find the race yourself, having been a part of creating this car?
Hey guys, thank you so much for giving me the credit. It was good. was good to be on the track. Hopefully, I could have been a bit better, but then there was always the turn one chaos that I had to evade, which I could not. And then I was catching up pretty good. But then something happened on to, I guess, lap 2 or 3 where I spun the other way around. So the guy, I was on the inside, but the guy maybe did not see me coming inside, and then he just turned into me. So I had to get back from there, and eventually I finished P8. But I think P6 could have been on the cards for sure.
Yeah, man, I saw that when I was actually driving and I saw you spun on the circuit, and I saw that your qualifying pace was actually really good. So I was super unfortunate, but really good comeback drive down to I believe that was 8th place, right? So it was a good fight back on the grid. Could
Well,
you run us a bit through the mod itself?
all right, so this is how it happened. After we did the rickshaw race, and then we were on the channel. The guys were discussing about doing something else for the fun, and then out of nowhere, we started talking about the truck. So I thought, yeah, maybe why not? Let's try have it a go at it. So I started looking for trucks, and then there were a few things out there, but in India we don't do truck races, so I had to pick up a truck from the market, play around it, change the few things, make it look like a Tata with our Tata logo on it, and then yeah, I just presented the idea to the guys, and they liked it. So that's how it all rolled out.
Definitely, a lot of good fun too. This was a great experience being a part of it. But yeah, any exciting mod ideas for the future? Maybe don't reveal it to the audience, but you think you have something else up your sleeve?
Yeah, if we gonna do this truck races again or something like that, then we can have this, two different trucks where one's the flat face and the other one's the bonnet face that we both can run together. And I don't know if the guys want to make it happen, then I can probably start working on it and make a few other things on it. And again, I know we can also try. I was just wondering if we can try a bike race with a side scooter or something like that on it. Anything that has more than two wheels, we can just make it work on
Yeah,
our channel.
sounds like a lot of fun. Exactly. There's just so many possibilities. This being Assetto Corsa. Anyhow, man, amazing race, an amazing experience. We're looking forward to more. So thank you so much for joining in what is essentially a live stream of our pre-recorded race. Thank you everybody else, everybody in the audience for joining in. Saw some good support in the comments over here. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and stay tuned. We have a lot coming up, and if you like this video, subscribe to IR Esports, follow us on our social media handles. You will get updates on all these exciting races that are coming up, and a lot of other hardcore professional racing, real life race cars as well, all popping up in game, delivered to you on stream. So on that note, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Divyang, for joining in. Feroz and
Thank you.
Gaurav for taking care of race direction, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks. Good night.
There are the 6 red lights. It's 20 minutes worth of action here with IR Esports, and we are underway then for racing action. Great second phase of acceleration from 3rd position on the grid there. That was wonderfully worked by Kadadia Prithvi in control as they take the dive in towards turn number 1, but immediately position lost then as they go on through. Easily done, but they'll fight all the way through 2, and there's contact, and immediately around they're going to have to scatter all the way around there. Savla now into 2nd position as they now find a way through just like that. Prithvi with control, and that's what happens when those rear wheels do tangle. It was
as they enter the end of the straight, and there's already another collision happening right behind Sai Prithvi.
And then Navneet Kumar goes around and finds himself in the grass on the inside. A little bit of contact. Vikas Runta from 11th position on the grid is now already up into P3 after all of that drama. Off difficult racing then to start. A little bit of a mistake from him though. This is going to allow Savla immediately through past him as if he wasn't there. Going Ragav then did well over the start. Look at that, all the way to the pit wall trying to defend. Can really punch a hole through the air if you are the driver behind. You're really going to take an advantage with such a tall car, as Savler can't quite get the tuk-tuk through, but gets a great run on the inside. He'll be on the wrong side towards turn number 3, but really it's all about that slipstream, because you've got such a big, tall car, which leaves a massive, massive gap in the air. Look at the up and under. That's wonderfully done. Position right now and is absolutely flying on the brakes. Is going to lose the place, at least initially there to OJ95, but you go straight back up and under. It's coming into play, takes that big wide line defending this one up the hill into turn 3, the widest part of the circuit, but it's gone a little bit deep there as it does plateau off, and suddenly that's 2 for the price of 1. Again, and here's going to come the move then. To the outside goes Cathadia, looking to pick up 3rd place. They cross the stripe and now look to try and make that progress forward. And Cathadia then on the outside is going to have to be committed through the corner, and he gets it nicely done.
Maximum traction out of that corner as we round off another lap. Looks like a little bit of oversteer and another contact as we enter the corner between Vikas and Navneet Kumar.
Another lap in. Sai Prithvi will come to the line. Checkered flag comes out. He takes the victory here in this special event here that we've got with IR Esports. Munjal Savla will take a very resilient 2nd position, has to be said, and a little bit of a wait for Oshan Cathadia, who had to really recover after that spin early on in lap 1 to bring himself back into play then. Position number 3 to round out the podium inside it. That one was pretty plain sailing at the front. Behind those, still going on.